Hello everyone, I'll be showing you how to create a storage pool, define data retention time, link storage device to the pool, and then using a data source to log to the created storage pool. The data that is received by ELM is organized into storage pools, each composed of storage devices, and there's a retention time that is set that is associated with each pool. And the data that is retained on the pool, it is determined by the compliance that is needed for the data retention. So let me go ahead, let me show you. Go ahead to the ELM properties and click on storage pools. Right. So here in the storage device window, so when you go to storage pools, ELM properties storage pools, you'll have a window for storage device. And if you scroll down, there's another window for storage pool. To define a storage pool, when you click on add storage pool, you can give it a name, and there's a data retention time, and then you link a storage pool to a storage device. So the two units that are associated with storage pool is, one is retention, that is for time, and then you are linking a storage device for space. So time and space are two units that are associated with the storage pool. For defining a storage pool, you need the storage device. Now storage devices could be physical storage, like on an standalone ELM. The local storage can be a storage device. It could be an external DAS that's a separate unit that you can use to add for as a storage device. It would be, if it's a DAS is connected, it will be present in data storage, ELM properties data storage. There will be a tab that will come for the DAS, like you see now for iSCSI. And then if it's a ELM VM, then VM local storage can be used. It's an additional hard drive within the VM hosting software. Apart from this physical storage, you'll have fiber channel storage, that is SAN, and this also, once it's connected, it shows up in ELM properties data storage, and a tab for SAN would appear once it's connected. And apart from there is network storage devices. One is iSCSI that you see here under data storage. This type requires the storage administrator to set up an iSCSI volume that gets shared to a specific IP address. Then apart from this, then there is NFS and CIFS. Then that can be added from here. You can add a storage device. You can directly add an NFS share or a CIFS share. So this NFS, CIFS, they're all network storage devices. There are challenges that we come across with when you're using a network storage device, because now it is an external device, and there's a network communication that takes place, and at times there could be a loss of communication because of there could be a power loss, there could be a network hardware maintenance, there could be server maintenance, there would be a network loss there, and these would unexpectedly cause the ELM functionality to be hampered. Because let's say if you have migrated the management DB there, or if you have storing the raw logs there, and if the external storage like an NFS or CIFS, which is network storage dependent, is not accessible, the ELM functionality would be hampered. So you need to be careful in choosing what type of storage devices do you need, especially for your management DB or even for your raw logs. Right? If it's a VM, you can use a VM local. If you don't want to use a network element like NFS and CIFS, which you'd probably use if you have an ELM VM, right? ELM, I mean, you can use NFS CIFS also for an physical appliance in case your existing local storage is getting filled. Right, so here I have two storage devices. One I'm already using for the management database, and I've created another one for the raw log. Let me edit it. Right, this NFS storage that I'm using for raw log, I've defined a size of 20 GB for it. So this storage device, I'm using 20 GB out of this storage device for this NFS share. Then we can go ahead and add a storage pool from this window below here. I'll go ahead and add a storage pool. You can give it a name. For example, let's say I'm using for Linux raw log, and here you can define retention time, how long you want to retain it based on days, weeks, months, quarters, years. You can define the time, 1 year, 6 months, or 3 months, depending on the compliance requirement. Let's say here I'll select, for example, I'm just going to choose 1 month here, and then I'm going to add the storage device. I'm linking the storage device to this pool where it would log the store the raw logs. Now for you'll have to select the storage device. Now there are 2 storage devices, one I'm using for the raw log and then another for the management DB. So select the raw log, right? So minimum space that needs to be allocated for the storage pool is 4 GB, right? And maximum will be 1 TB, that is 1024 GB, and out of it, let's say I'm using about 10 GB for this particular storage pool. Click OK, and this what has got added is nothing but an allocation. There's an allocation that is added. So storage pool, this is a storage pool. This is also called as retention group, and then you have an allocation that is created. This is storehouse, and you can have multiple allocations or a storehouse within a storage pool. I can add one more. Let me go ahead and add one more here. I'll select, let's see, the same raw log. I'll go ahead and select, let's say, yeah, let's say 5 GB. Okay, and then go ahead, click OK again. It's creating the storage pools, creating the allocations and the symbolic link. It's important to remember when you're creating the storage pool to ensure that there is sufficient space available on the storage device that you're going to link, right? So for example, I had 20 GB available in that storage device, and I have created 2 allocations, one of 10 GB and 6 GB. That is well within the limit that the storage device has. Right, the pool has been created, pool and allocations created successfully. Let me go ahead and close this window, so I'll show it you here. So this is the storage pool that is created. The retention is 1 month, and size is 16 GB, always 12 GB is available. These are the allocations. We created two allocations, each of one of 10 GB, another of 6 GB. Removing the overhead, in the first one 8 GB is available, and the second one 4 GB is available. So out of 16 GB, 12 GB is available, and 4 GB is for the overheads. Next, I'll log the data source to log to this particular storage pool. Right, here I have a Linux data source, and here parsing is already enabled. I'll go ahead and enable ELM logging. Select it. Yeah, right. So yeah, this ELM has not been associated, rather this receiver has not been associated with the keyed ELM. So once it performs the association, so I'll just click on yes to go ahead and sync with the ELM. All right. The IP address of the ELM comes up. Okay. Right, once it's associated, that's seen because that's the first time the I'm logging ELM to this data source, the data source on this receiver. If it was already, if you had other data sources already logging to this ELM, you would not seen that, and it would have directly come to this page where it would say to which storage pool to link this data source to. So there's only one pool that I've created, so I'll go ahead and link to it. Right, I'll now go ahead and write the configuration. Yeah, once it's done, I'll successfully update it. So that this data source will now start logging to that storage pool. Coming back to the storage pools on the ELM. So now we have seen how to create a storage pool, the units that are associated, that is retention time. We defined a retention time and the storage device to link to the pool, and for how long and how much space that needs to be allocated for the allocations on the storage pool. So each storage pool can have multiple allocations, and each allocation would be a minimum of 4 GB to a maximum of 1 TB, 1024 GB, that is. So you need to be careful when you are allocating space. Ensure that the storage device has that sufficient space available. So now you see the storage device earlier had 20 GB available, now it has just 3 GB, and the remaining ones apart from the overheads is got assigned to the storage pool. That's about it. Thank you.